So I think it's time to turn us over to Alexandre. Alex, are you here?
Yes, I am. You can't see me? Can
Well,
you
I
see me?
can. Sweet. So Alex is the founder of Storms, and he's also the host of the AI Tinkerers community. So I hope, Dave and Helen, you have a chance to stay and play for a bit because we used Storms in the experiment that we ran. But as we were running the experiment, um, Alex and his team were integrating with ChatGPT, with OpenAI, and doing it in a way that helps in some of the areas that we were literally trying to test and we couldn't touch. So maddening, where you get idea generation, where you get visualization to help the human creativity get unlocked just a little bit more, that amplification. And as the year has progressed, we've seen it be able to do more and more and more and more. So in this session, we want to take that idea and just run it out. Let's assume this trustworthiness increases. Let's assume that these models not only become more trustworthy, but they become embodied. That all of the fabulous robotics that we're starting to see do their dances actually do things that we can use. Roll yourself out in the future. What, 5, 10, 15, 2 years? Who can say? And imagine that AI can do most of what we do. Then what? Alex, thanks so much for bringing us here and for joining us for this.
Well, thank you, Elise. And hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you tonight, Paris time, because I'm from, as you can infer from my accent, I'm a French bot. I'm an AI, but with a French accent. Yeah, not all AI bots are perfect. So today, as Aziz told you, I invite you to dive into an intriguing what if scenario. What if, what if, what if AI's predicting power was so good that it could achieve any task with human-like efficiency? So what implications would that have? And in the end, what should remain human? So let me share my screen. I'm going to try not to share the right screen. So normally you should see a screen with a pinkish left side. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So if AI can do the job, what must remain human? Before we start, a little bit about myself. Not 10, 15 minutes about me. No, I'm joking, of course. So I've been facilitating workshops for 22 years. And one thing I've always focused is on combining collective intelligence and some kind of artificial intelligence. Contrary to many experts that we see today, my prompts are not just on paper. They are running every day on real software. And I created Storms about 12 years ago. It's a brainstorming software. And Spark It Up is my new project. It's also about brainstorming, but it's a prototype. What I'm trying to do with both of these tools is that I try to leverage AI in a smart, human way. Finally, I'm also the founder of the AI Tinkerers Club, which helps consultants and facilitators to leverage generative AI in their everyday job. Okay, that's enough about me. Before we start, I always like to set the right level of expectations because we have only less than 1 hour. We don't have 3 hours. So I'd like to think about our workshop as a kind of excursion into unknown territories. And this workshop is not about mapping every inch of the landscape. My goal is that we dig up just enough insight, one here, one here, one here, today to trigger a valuable conversation. And also, I hope that it's going to spark your curiosity so that you come back later and dig even deeper into the topic. Make sense? Good. I like to see the thumbs up like that. Oh, by the way, I see some faces that I know. So it's a workshop where I encourage sharing opinions. So you can expect some discussions in breakout sessions. Oh my God, breakout. I know it's not everyone cups of tea. So it's not mandatory, but if you opt out, of course, you're going to miss a lot. And I just wanted to let you know about that. All right, let's get started. A few key points about our what if scenario and things that I would like you to keep in mind. First, please think of AI machine as prediction machine, definitely not as a fact machine or an answering machine. Second thing I would like you to keep in mind is that the effectiveness of an AI model, of an AI, is measured by the predictive power of its model. All right? So depending on the use case, sometimes the predicting power can be excellent and sometimes it can be very terrible. And currently, as of 2024, one of the challenges about Gen AI is to keep track of where AI is really good and where it falls short. And often it's totally counterintuitive. For example, AI is great at creativity. And this is something most people thought it would be the reverse. So one thing, however, is clear. The thing is, AI is evolving rapidly and its predictive power is stronger and stronger. The thing we don't know is it might accelerate, it might hit a wall. We don't know that. I don't know, and we don't know when. But still, there is one scenario that seems plausible. And this is this scenario. What if AI predicting power was extremely high? So high that it would be able to perform any human task with similar, if not superior, efficiency than a human. Okay? So this brings us to a crucial and ethical consideration, right? I mean, just because an AI can do something, it doesn't mean it should, right? So this leads directly to the central question of our workshop. What should stay human? What task should remain uniquely human, even if AI can do everything? So the workshop, that was my introduction. Workshop time now. Let's jump into a parallel future. And you look around, it's a world where AI's predictive power is so advanced that it can perform any task a human can. And we are going to explore this world, and we're going to do that in 2 steps. In the first step, we're going to look around and we're going to discuss the impact on our human society. What are the significant, most important changes that we would see in this world? Once we will have a vision about this impact, we will move to step 2. I wanted to keep it simple. I mean, we have only 40 minutes. So step 2, identify what should remain uniquely human. So for each one of the steps, you're going to join a different breakout. It's a breakout of 3 or 4 so that you have enough time for discussion for everyone. And it's going to be a 15-minute discussion. Okay. After that, we regroup and we have a debrief. So step 1, what's the difference? Debrief. Step 2, what should stay human? Debrief. Okay. So, sorry, need to stay a little bit before. So, of course, as you are going to do all of that in your small group, we want to capture the insights, and we're going to use Storms for that. Okay. So, the app you see on the right side of the screen, it is called Storms. It's very simple. Once you have an insight, let's say I have a positive insight, no, a positive consequence of this new world. I click on the plus button here. I write down my insight. I make sure that it is understandable by someone who did not participate in my conversation, and I hit on save. And that's the only thing you have to do. Very simple. If you have some insights that have both positive and negative aspects, please create separate cards for each one of them, because sometimes, most of the time, some of the consequences would have a negative and a positive and a neutral aspect. So I would like you to create separate cards for each one of them. Why? Because it's going to make the output much easier to analyze in real time. Okay? I think I'm good. So now you need to join Storms. So it's super easy. Normally, you should get a link in the chat. Let me check the chat. Not yet. I can put it myself if needed. So I don't know. I'm going to put it myself. So yeah, use that link. Just click on it. It's going to open a web browser. You enter your name. You don't need an account. Of course, it is free. And you will be in. Okay, so I'm going to wait a little bit. You can join from a laptop. You can also take your phone if you want. It's going to be perfectly usable on a phone. Oh, we have Taffy Tiger. Gonna wait just a little bit to make sure if you have any trouble, you can either unmute yourself and say, "Hey, Alex," or you can tell me in the chat. And I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit weird because I had a big flu a few days ago. Anyone else? How many participants we should have? Okay. Let's say that we are good. So let me, give me a second. I need to. Okay, my voice is good enough now. So first breakout session. So you're gonna have 15 minutes. Remember, it is step one. We jump into this parallel world and you focus on identifying significant impacts on human society. Think about big societal impact and aim to record only 1, 2, or 3 key insights. Remember, today, it's not a brainstorming. We are going for quality over quantity. We don't have to be the time to be exhaustive. So I want qualitative exploration. If you need some inspiration, you can open the instructions on the top right of the screen. You click on that, and you see here anything about social impact. It can be power structure, healthcare, business, individuals. It can be positive, neutral, negative, whatever you want. You ping one topic and you try to go deep into it. Again, don't be exhaustive. At the end of the 15 minutes, your mission, you only have one mission, is to extract one great insight from your discussion and you record it in Storms. One insight per card. So before we deep dive into the breakouts, let me quickly check that there is no urgent question in the chat. All right, I don't see anything. Okay, so you'd be in, let's open the breakout. You'll be in groups of 3 or 4, 15 minutes to discuss. What are you seeing? And don't forget to record your insight before we come back. Hey, you're back. You weren't lost into outer space. So I hope you enjoyed the conversation. We're going to have a quick look at some of the insights that you have created. And I'd like just to have one look at what you've been doing. Okay, so redundant From a work perspective, we may become redundant. If redundant, might we have more time to explore our humanity and creativity? Well, creativity is here too. So education is reimagined, opportunity to share and apply, not learn, store, prove knowledge, a renaissance of generous creative sharing of ideas. Seems that we have something about time too. What will 8 billion plus people do with their time if working as we know today is not required? Okay, let's now get back to the board's view because we don't have so many insights. So some of the negatives, over-optimizing the world. One of the groups said that some of the current existing trends like kid heads down in screen, loss of conversation ability, socialization skills, all of that might extend. We might no longer be able to distinguish what's real. There will be an erosion of trust in digital communications. And here we have so I'm quite happy because you were able to balance the negative and the positive. So that's interesting. Rewilding, forest walks, open in-person spaces, authentic connections, hunger for such thing, creating market demand for this, which will be met. Allow people to help people, care for them, teach them, rather than mundane tasks. Okay, so I don't want to spend more time looking at that, all of us together. What I would like now is directly go to the step 2. And we're going to have new breakouts. So you're going to meet with other people. So maybe at the beginning of the discussion, you can quickly share the top insight that you had in your previous group. And then we move on to the step 2, which is about what should stay human. This is not step 2. Yeah, this one. So you see here on the right, you have all your insights, and there is a new column, what should stay human and why. So in the next 16 minutes, in your new breakout, I would like you to consider this question. Even if AI can do all of them, should it do it? So you look back at your insights and you start by identifying one task that must remain human. And you click on the plus button, you describe the task, and then what I would like to do is that you try to explain the why, okay? Why it should remain human. And maybe you can also speak about the how, but try to explain the why. So again, you've got 15 minutes. If you produce only one card, that's great. If you can produce 2 or 3, that's also okay, but don't try to produce more than that. Okay, so Curtis, you would like to suggest a constraint. I love constraints. Okay, so if you agree with Curtis, try to write the task in just 3 words. 3 words is very challenging. Try to be very concise. So if you like Curtis' challenge, take it. If you want to take more words, just do it. Okay, so are we good to go for the next stage of our workshop? Okay, so Nathalie, can we send everybody to new breakouts? Salut, Marc.
It's been a wonderful session, Alex. Thank you.
You liked it?
Yes,
Good conversations?
very much so.
Okay, for those who are just coming, just for fun, I wanted to know what the AI would generate. You know, in Storms, there is some AI features, and one of them is to generate some of the answers. So the little cards that with the emoji bots were answers generated by the AI based on what if the AI predicting power was extremely high, negative, neutral, and positive. And some of them are quite good. Anyway, we're going to focus for the last minutes of our workshop. So Um, who would like to let's open the mic. Let's do a or open the chat box. Who would like to share some of the insights that were discussed in their breakouts?
I'll start with gratitude
Yes.
and forgiveness. No AI generated Father's Day cards, Mother's Day cards, or any other greetings. It remains human.
And
Yes.
why? I think I can see why, but would you put some words on that?
Well, I'll out myself. I used ChatGPT to help me do a Father's Day card this past year. I got busted on it. And even though it was only inspiration, I should have never even admitted it. But like my dad's he was an electrician. He's like 85 years old now. And I had to, there's no stock photography of a guy licking electric wires because he would always joke, I can lick a 220-volt line. Right. And so I was like, Dad, this is great. And so, Dolly and all that was perfect for it. And then, it cheapened the whole experience when he found out I used an AI for it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think it might be debatable on how much of the intention and emotion and message behind the card was generated by the AI. I mean, if you write the draft of the message, if you ask the AI for a specific set of image,
Right.
and then the AI is just doing the mechanical job, and then at the end you're adding the final corrections and finishing touches.
Yes.
Well, then it's different.
Okay,
it's a
good.
collaboration. No, I mean that's the last 1% that you see on the card 39, for example. It's a way to make sure that finally the end product is maybe more human than AI.
Yeah.
That's definitely in the gray zone. Okay, so I'd like someone else to share something else. Come on, open your mics.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the last 1% a way to put it under control?
Okay, so that's the idea. Very early when I started working on Gen AI, I decided that there was an important principle that was called the sandwich principle. If you want to use the AI the right way, you need to start with human, then use the AI, that's the middle of the sandwich, and then you finalize with the human touch. So the last 1% is also says never give full autonomy to an AI, always have some control before some human control. So that's the meaning of that card. And of course, the sandwich principle, you should do it with baguette bread because I'm French, right?
All right. So thank you for the explanation. We were wondering, but that might be.
Anything else? We still have a couple of minutes. I'd like to know a little bit about the conversation that you had in your breakouts.
So we had a fascinating conversation in the breakout room I was in that was triggered initially when Robin noticed Linda's background. Linda's background is a watercolor that Linda had done herself. And we were talking about what should stay human. And the conversation could have gone on for much longer, but we were talking about sort of creativity. We were talking about kind of passion. We were talking about passion, I think, was the underpinning thing, and what triggers our passion and what passions we own in whatever shape or form that is, kind of needs to stay ours. And that also led into a conversation that Ellen triggered around kind of personal agency. So for me, what I took away from it, thanks you three, by the way, I thought it was lovely, was around owning our passion, our creativity, and our personal agency.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing. That's a great insight. Okay, Elise, we have time for one last insight. Yeah. Who want to share something?
I can share something, Alex. Probably the card 51 and 57 we were working in my group, which we had a great discussion. It basically started off with what you need to preserve is the connection. And then the question was basically what type of connection? And we went into discussion, can AI provide this type of connection? Is it a mediatized connection? So we came up with the idea of an authentic connection, and then we discussed authentic connection. But at the end, basically, it was kind of always, is it possible to do that by AI? And at the end, basically, we said that there needs to be a mind-body connection. This can only be done in physical, and that's where basically the physical experience in learning comes into. There is nothing better than falling off a bike, of blowing up something, a chemistry lab, and having the negative experience in learning, because that's how a child learns walking, by falling down. And so this is probably learning is the thing which is probably outside of this physical learning. I mean, we learn with AI as well, but it's kind of this physical experience again then. Add, colleagues, if I misrepresented something.
Quote of the day, there is nothing better than blowing up something. So I think that might be the final word. Remember, I said it's definitely not a full-blown discovery of this territory, but I'm really glad that you were able to uncover some insights and go deep into one specific aspect of that. Of course, I will be sharing the board. The board will be open, and Elise, I'm going to send you the export so that you can send it to all the participants. And I guess that each one of the cards would be the opportunity for a good 1 minute of meditation on what it means. I see some things that are absolutely, how to say that, brutal, the decision to kill, but I also see something about the fun stuff, which is a little bit more light. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for playing the game, participating into the infamous breakout rooms. And I wish you a pleasant follow-up for the conference. And thank you for the invitation, Elise.
Thank you. Thank you so much, so much.